Good evening and welcome to Central Queensland Storms' first ever live video forecast. Okay, right now we have a large area of rain and storm activity stretching all the way from Townsville, goes past Hamilton Island, there's a storm offshore of Mackay, it goes down to around Yeppoon now, stretches on towards Rolleston, around the back of, probably around to Alpha, up towards Aramac, and then up through Charterstars and back to Townsville. Also along the coastline we have this area down. I'll just zoom in a bit more for you. We have this area down around 1770. I'll just highlight it up for you to show you better. This area, this is a very strong area of rain. This caused rainfall totals of around 80 to 90 millimeters in an hour through this area, and conduced to 2 to 3 hour falls of around 140 millimeters in some areas. We also have this storm here, which is just going over Marlborough right now and is producing very, very heavy rainfall. We also have this storm, which has produced around 50 millimeters in the last hour at Dysart. This storm also produced around 40 millimeters in Claremont during the last 10 months. Earlier today, we did have some very heavy rainfall around Blackwater with 77 millimeters recorded there, another 40 or 50 odd recorded just around Emerald. Bit more just south of Gindi here, around 60 millimeters was recorded. This storm off here, it's going off away from Mackay, and it's just going to keep going away to the north, and it's not going to be away to anybody. Anyway, now let's have a look at what's going to happen tomorrow. So, tonight, or during the overnight and tomorrow morning, a low will form somewhere in this vicinity. Where it forms is imperative. I do not stress that anymore. If it forms here in this southwestern quadrant, this area of the coastline, all along here, will get absolutely pummeled. If it forms a bit further out, like about out here, the same area of coastline here will get pummeled, but not quite as badly. If it forms a bit further north, maybe up around this area, then that focus switches more to this area of the coastline, and a bit less of the focus would be on the area of coastline down around here. This would be a much less area of focus than this area would be if the low were happen to be out here somewhere. If the low forms out here, it's likely that the most area of interest would probably become Mackay to this area, where they get southeasterly winds just churning into that area. This area of the coastline would probably get showery weather with southeasterly winds, but it probably wouldn't be as heavy as it's forecast to be tomorrow. Anyway, let's have a look at what the models are saying. So, first of all, we'll have a look at the Euro. The Euro, this is at 4 AM tomorrow morning, develops the low somewhere just off 1770, just about 30 or 40k off 1770. But at this sort of a thing, at this sort of a scenario, 1770, this whole coastline, probably from Bundaberg up to around Gladstone, will be getting pummeled with rain. Absolutely pummeled with rain. By 10 AM, the Euro lifts the low slightly further east. However, it does get confused over which one of these two it wants to make the circulation. There's possibly a circulation here, there's a possible another circulation forming up here, and there's another one here, and another one here. Which one of these comes off, or which of these do come off, is imperative. If this one comes off, this one here, if this one comes off, the coast is probably going to get the least amount of rain because we're going to be looking at more of a southerly surge like that. If this one comes off, we'll be looking more southeasterly, probably shifting like that southwesterly near the coast. It probably won't be quite as much. If this scenario comes off here, I'll just change it over for you, just so you can have the colours. Then we'll probably see a more coastal orientated scenario for much further on in the day. And if this scenario comes off, this whole area of coastline, all the way from Serena down around Yeppoon, down to about Gladstone here, would be getting pummeled with rain. Anyway, that's about enough on that. What are the models saying for later in the day? The Euro, later in the day, it has two defined circulations. It has one circulation sitting, very broad circulation sitting out somewhere out here. It's not quite pinpointed. It has pinpointed a small area, or it could have been out here a bit further, but it's more likely to be somewhere in your circle. It also has another secondary circulation here. This circulation may not become the dominant one, but it will assist in increasing rainfall totals throughout this area. This circulation will continue pummeling this whole coastline along here, with rain probably not any further south than about 1770 is probably the cutoff, because that's where the winds should tend to shift more southerly. Fraser Island's probably going to cop an absolute battering with rain and wind. We're talking wind gusts of, through this area, we're talking wind gusts of 23 to 28 knots. Further towards the low, we're talking wind gusts around 30 to 35 knots. Now that is strong wind. That is not wind to muck around with. Further on, as we get into 10 p.m. at night, we tend to see the circulation sort of die down a bit. We see this eastern one continue on its trek further east. It goes off away. Then we see this one over here. It just continues to pummel this area. We've got another weak circulation possibly forming up here. If that happens, this Mackay area will get absolutely hammered with rainfall. I mean hammered. We'll see northeasterly, easterly, southeasterly all converging on this one. No matter what one of these two comes off, we will see an immense amount of rainfall along this part of the coastline, probably down to around again about 1770, because the winds tend to shift more southerly once you get past 1770. This scenario probably won't have too much of an impact on the coast if it becomes the dominant one, which it's looking like it may be out there, but it will assist in creating stronger southeasterly wind flow towards the coast. Anyway, let's have a look at see what the Bureau's forecasting for tomorrow. The wrong one. Okay, for tomorrow we are looking at rainfall totals of 50 to 100 millimeters across a large portion of probably the central to northern Capricornia district. Talking between St. Lawrence and Gladstone, falls of 50 to 100 millimeters plus, just stretching into the far eastern Central Highlands and coalfields. We're also seeing falls of over 25 millimeters, 25 to 50 millimeters, all the way from Bundaberg out to about Alpha, up to about Charters Towers and around Proserpine region. Now that will cause a lot more moisture in the catchment. So if you get this rainfall tomorrow, and then you get further rainfall, I'll just have a show you what's coming up in coming days. This is from the BOM's Wattle Forecast Water in the Land, which is an ensemble which is an average of weather model. As you can see, if that rainfall there comes off, you're looking another day of 100 to 150, another day 100 to 150, it's hitting the same area of coastline. If that comes off, we will see immense flooding in this area of the coastline. But that is a big question mark. Will it come off or won't it? We won't discuss that tonight because we're running late on time. It's already late. Okay, yeah, going back to the radar, as you can see, there's a large area of rain and storm activity. Marlborough is copping it at the moment. Lightning, a lot of lightning, heavy rain. Just to the north of Middlemount, they're also copping it. It's probably going to go across north of the town, but the town may get heavy rain. Now, just have a look at some of the rainfalls recorded today. 126 up to 141 millimeters. This rainfall fell in about a space of about 2 hours, 2 to maybe 3 hours. We saw further rainfalls. The Emerald Radar picking up 58, Claremont picking up 73, Blackwater picking up 70. Around here, Avasay got 66, and Glenora Road got 66. Dysart got another 55. That's basically in the last hour, all that rain's popped up at Dysart. Have a look at the last 24-hour rainfalls. You can just see an immense amount of shower and storm activity, particularly from the Gladstone area north. This is the big watch zone. This area has already had catchments drenched. The Fitzroy River already has a warning. If we get falls of over 50 to 100 millimeters anywhere in this catchment, it will result in river rises. There is no doubt about it. It will result in further river rises, possibly causing flooding in some areas. Rockhampton at this stage doesn't look like it will receive flooding, however, we cannot rule it out at this stage. Now, going back to the BOM's Wattle forecast, as you can see, just give you a brief overview, rainfall just disappearing up to around Mackay, and then by Monday, the rainfall has gone offshore, and then by Tuesday, it's gone up to northern Queensland, but by Monday, the lows likely to have shifted offshore somewhere of the Whitsundays and probably keep the most of the rain offshore. And then by Tuesday, it's gone up to North Queensland, giving them a nice drink. Anyway, that's about all for now. As you can see, it's just a large swath of rain across this area. This is the big area to watch tonight. We will likely see a low form somewhere in the next 6 hours, somewhere again in this area. Somewhere in this area here. Could be down here a bit further, or it could be up here a bit further, but the favoured zone is this area in here. That's about all for now. We'll keep you updated later on this evening with further updates. Later on tonight, I mean, with further updates. And during tomorrow, we'll provide comprehensive coverage and we'll continue updating you with the weather warnings. Taking a look at the latest severe weather warning while we're at it. May as well. We've got falls of... Taking a look at the latest severe weather warning. We've still got a severe storm warning in place for heavy rainfall. Once again in that Capricornia district, Marlborough included, including the towns of Rockhampton, Yeppoon, St Norwich, Dysart, Marlborough. And that's all the area that's been constantly on warning for the last several days. As you can see, there's now a flood warning being issued for the Colin and Baffle and Boyne and Calliope rivers. And that is all due to rainfall that has fallen this evening. Taking a look at the severe weather warning, the Bureau still say heavy rain may lead to flash flooding. Local 6 hours accumulation of 100 to 140 are possible about the coast and nearby ranges, and 60 to 100 millimeters over inland areas. As you can see, it's across a large area of the Capricornia district, and just borderlining unprecedented at the moment, but don't worry, you will probably get it in coming days. And that's about all for now. Take care, and if it's flooded, forget it. See ya.